Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review
Let's review.
Season 7.
Bum.
Bum.
That's right, folks. It's Christmas in July, season 7. Every time I say that, I just feel a little bit more old and decrepit. How you doing, Dragon? We're talking tonight about Dinosaurs, Refrigerator Day. This is, of course, Jim Henson's Dinosaurs. So, Dragon, this is it's something that was announced to come out on Disney Plus. Unfortunately, it didn't come out in time for Christmas in July, but alas, we kind of figured there's some hype going on there for Dinosaurs, so we will do it. And folks, you can get this thing on Amazon for 99 cents, and it's a really fun episode in the Christmas in July tradition. So, just do it. Come on. But regardless, Dragon, I feel like this is a pretty memorable holiday special. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't touched on this one yet, because I got to tell you, when I started watching this thing, it was one of those occasions where all the memories just kind of started flooding back, buddy. Oh boy. Specifically with the holiday in question, like I didn't remember the ins and outs of the episode, but I definitely remembered Refrigerator Day as a whole and the concept of Refrigerator Day. And so, Dragon, I like this episode quite a bit. I think it's a very simple episode, and that's not a bad thing at all. I think it kind of just hits us with all the good kind of Christmassy goodness and tropes right up front, and I like how the ending is just super over the top happy and yet kind of cynically commercialist at the same time. And that kind of hits the sweet spot of the show. And speaking of the show, Dragon, like I said, the show kind of has a great way of mixing sort of corporate cynicism with these kind of like heartfelt morals and family, and family dynamics and stuff like that. And of course, we all know how the show ends, folks, and it doesn't end happy. It ends with arguably one of the darkest endings ever for a sitcom. And I don't know, Dragon. I think this show really. I don't necessarily know how it holds up in terms of the characters. I'd honestly have to watch more episodes to give that determination. But what I can tell you is that it certainly holds up in terms of the visuals. I mean, my God, this thing looks amazing. I mean, oh man. I was kind of going in, like, sort of thinking, like, I don't know, is this going to be one of those things where, because I was a little kid and it was dinosaurs, it looked better than it was, it looked better as a little kid than it did now. And, like, no, if anything, this is more impressive because I know how much practical work goes into these Jim Henson figures. So, if anything, as an adult, I'm even more blown away by the fact that this show kind of existed on a weekly basis for a long time. Woo! All right, Dragon, there's my little soliloquy about dinosaurs. Why don't you take the floor?
Yeah, I too, big fan of Dinosaurs, man. It was great. Unfortunately, I was not able to I caught it on VHS tape, and unfortunately, not all of them way back when. I did enjoy what I saw, but it's been ages since I've returned to it. So this is quite the
I was
occasion.
in the exact same boat, Dragon. I would catch it on VHS tape, and I treasured the episodes that I did get to see, but I didn't get to see nearly as many of them as I wanted to.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was very much kind of, it's almost in the a little bit in the Batman kind of vein for me, in the sense of a Batman I had only until I had the home video. I was very much kind of going off like the one volume I did have and what I saw on TV, and of course just kind of then kind of held true until I was able to really delve into it. So definitely kind of felt the nostalgia. Felt the nostalgia flowing through during this, most assuredly. It was this is fascinating. This is kind of like one of the kind of make it a sound all monolithic and epic, because it kind of is in the regard. It's sort of like it's kind of like one of like the last miracles that Jim Henson pulled off before his time. It's like one of
Totally. No, absolutely, it was. Yeah.
It's like an all-star Superman. You have this thing like Superman pulled off like these greatest feats in like in his last days on the Earth before that story kind of takes Superman where it does, and it's very much think about it. Jim Henson, when he's going out the door, think about what he does. He does Muppet Vision.
Mm-hmm.
He does the Ninja Turtles, and this, because this is based off the Ninja Turtles technology and the whole the idea of okay, having superformers with the mechanisms in the face to kind of take puppeteering next level with the superformers. So again, just three examples. Just I mean, again, I think they speak for themselves in terms of the longevity and kind of where they went with it. I mean, it's quite impressive.
Alrighty, Dragon. Any other thoughts on the episode as a whole?
And as a whole, it was I never saw this one before. And I was delighted by it. I thought it was quite good, quite fun, and it was just kind of again got you back to the nature. Oh man, I'm very eager for when it comes on Disney Plus, to say the least.
I am too.
Believe it. I know we have the Muppet thing coming up at the end of this month. And I'm still looking forward to that.
Binge watch, my friend.
I'll warn you though. From what I understand, it's only going to be 10 minutes for 6 episodes, so don't get too excited. But still, Muppets. I mean, who can
Wait, no. I'm talking about binge watch for Dinosaurs.
I know that one's you can actually binge watch. I'm saying
that's the one I'm excited to binge watch, Dragon. I mean, I'm excited for any Muppets I can get, like you said. But Dinosaurs is legitimately like hours and hours of new Jim Henson content
4 seasons
that I have yet to consume. Yeah. So I'm stoked.
I'm looking forward to it as well, buddy boy. I'm absolutely yes. I mean, here's the thing. Because we're not really to recap it itself, but I mean, again, the opening is that's what realign the circuitry in my brain for it was the old familiar. Opening is so gorgeous the way it looks, like the build, like that right there. That's perfect. You have like the size and the scale, but then of course the mundanity and the classic sitcom, like the flash in the most perfect way. But that intro, the perspective shot, oh my god, that intro is everything. It's like the perfect statement on the show.
I hear you.
Okay, right. So all that said, let's dive into it.
All right, I'm very excited for this one, Dragon. I think this has the potential to be the best one of the season.
Of course, this one absolutely fits our niche for Christmas in July because it's not quite Christmas, which of course fits perfectly for Christmas in July.
And it's absolutely like in the holiday tradition. It's kind of like a Festivus, it's like a made-up holiday to kind of like substitute for Christmas.
Yes, so just to kind of get into it. So, of course, the Sinclair family, beloved Sinclair family, they are decorating the fridge, not a tree, the fridge, because literally Earl knocks down trees for a living. They wouldn't deify the tree around a certain time of year anyway. Of course, there was a dark payoff for all that by the end of the show. I think, anyways, the point being, Sinclair family, they decorate the fridge for Refrigerator Day. Which essentially is kind of our absurdist Christmas in the prehistoric era, because again, we don't really, it's BC, therefore we kind of have to be something other than you can't quite call it Christmas, can you?
And I love the real building that they came up with, Dragon. It's so silly, but it works so well. And my God, I can't imagine the writer's room that must have happened to come up with this concept for Fridge Day.
Oh yeah, it's such a wonderful idea, and scale-wise, it makes sense because dinosaurs, if they were to have a proportional thing to themselves that would actually be in the home, it would be like a refrigerator because they're gonna need largely proportioned things and everything. So yeah, it would be like the only thing you could have for these guys that could be a tree-like thing that isn't just them bringing a tree into the house. It makes sense.
I mean, not only that, but I love the in-universe reason they give for...
I know, yeah, that's great, too. The actual reason is even better. I'm just saying, like, the logistics...
But we're skipping ahead a little bit.
You're right. Okay, so anyway, the kids are decorating the refrigerator. You're probably wondering why, and Earl just kind of comes, he's all excited to see, oh, boy, the kids are decorating, and Fran, his wife, has prepared the seasonal and famous mold pie.
Mold pie, seasonal famous dishes, write it down, Dragon. Write it down on the list.
Yep. Putting it right next to rock soup.
Dishes.
I know. And the tubophones next to the hot gift sweeping. Anyway, so okay, yes. So the mold pie, which took a year to collect the mold from the meat drawer within the fridge. You can wait 2 days, or it's kind of like from the Christmas Story. It's like the old man trying to get a sample of the turkey. You can wait 2 days.
All right, so then we see, oh God, Dragon, Jesus Christ, the nostalgia is just off the wall. Dragon, I wouldn't even call this nostalgia. I would call this deja fucking vu, honestly. Just seeing the baby in all his glory. Just, oh man.
Yep, oh man, the Fonzie of dinosaurs.
It's such a great design. It's such a great voice. Does he get a little obnoxious from time to time? Of course he does, but oh man. And also, Dragon, he's with another one of my favorite characters, the grandma.
Yeah, Ethel.
Yeah, yeah. And I love the grandma's voice as well, Dragon. She cracks me up.
Well, you know, she's
And
actually from a Disney movie.
is she?
I'm going to see, did she ring familiar? Because she sounds exactly like this as her Disney character.
Oh shit, she did ring familiar. You're gonna have to tell me, or else I'm gonna be trying to figure it out all day.
It should be Florence Stanley. She was Miss Packard from Atlantis. Remember the lady who was the old radio lady from Atlantis, Lost Empire?
Oh my god, I never would have guessed that, Dragon. I never in a million years.
But now that you know, do you remember? It's like the
yes. I'm glad we did do the guessing game on that one.
Yep. Anyway.
Sometimes you just need to know when to fold them, folks.
Yep. Okay. So, point being, like, baby's asking, asking old grandma, what's refrigerator day? Of course, it leads to kind of the expositional gag, and of course, really smart way of doing the exposition that the baby would ask repetitively, and then the grandma, I already told you, and the goes, I wasn't listening, so the baby wasn't listening. Well, what's the backstory, Tiki? You really love it. What do you got?
Okay, so the backstory is essentially before refrigerators were invented, dinosaurs moved in herds, Dragon, and they hunted and they gathered, but they had no place to store their meat. And as we're going to find out in a really elaborate backstory that I don't want to give away quite yet with the pageant of it all, I don't want to give away the finer details just yet. But let's just say, they came up with the idea of storing their food in a frozen box, in a box with a cooling system. And the last Dragon, that's how we get suburban dinosaurs. That's how we get the whole concept of the show and all the world building through the refrigerator. And I love it. So creative.
Usually a modern example, it is very Onward-esque, isn't it? It's like, what if... I'm sorry, go on.
No, it is very Onward-esque, you're right. But what I love about it so much is it just, it takes, like, something that they needed out of necessity, which is basically just, like, a holiday to substitute for Christmas, and something that could have a Christmas tree substitute. And then they basically justify the whole world building of the entire series around it.
Which is great. I know it's genius. And again, the idea of dinosaurs, again, you're right, it's the perfect domesticating tool for the dinosaurs and the suburbia kind of building blocks, the rock of which to build the church upon. And it's very much just the sort of like, we don't have to hunt every day. Basically, we don't have to worry about, freshness because, we have to do a fresh kill every day. In this case, you don't have to do that. Just do it like maybe it's like grocery shopping. You do one hunt, ain't good for about the month. Right. 1 month or like a few weeks. Great. All right. So, like, most important, basically, invention.
I also like how the grandma mentioned that, in the time, I like how the grandma is like, she's like truly the prehistoric one of the bunch, right? So she's like the Great Depression era one, if you will, where she's like, oh, it was miserable and it was all dusty everywhere and it almost killed romance.
Yep. All right, let's see. And of course,
I just like how Earl's kind of like, going through all this, all the spiritual stuff and cutting straight to the point. It makes makes it possible to have a midnight snack without running around in the woods in your jammies.
Yeah. And of course, we honor the refrigerator by giving it its own special day. So, of course, do you understand now, baby? No. Then, of course, Charlene comes into play here, the daughter, and she's basically saying, she abridges it, like, well, it means we get presents. Now I get it.
Oh, now I get it. Presents.
Also, I just want to shout out some of the voice cast here, because remember, like, we have different puppeteers doing the super performances, and then they're kind of dubbed over later. I mean, for example, Bill Beretta, the great Bill Beretta, he actually plays Earl, physically.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Whitmire, he plays the boss later on, but we'll get to him.
Oh man,
Anyway,
we'll get to him. He's one of my favorite designs.
to shout out a few of the voice actors here. We have Stuart Pankin as Earl. Now he's in. I remember him from the animated series. He was Condiment King in Batman the animated series.
Oh
You're going to get
God.
them. He's one of the most ridiculous and memorable Batman villains. And of course, we have Jessica Walters. She plays Fran. Of course, many people love her on Archer. She is Archer's mom. Mallory Archer, and
Oh.
Sally Struthers. She of course, All in the Family. Plays the daughter. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, moving on. So
what about the obviously meant to be Bart Simpson's son?
Well, I'm saying I don't have much of an iconic pull for him, so I just kind of left them off.
And he's probably my least favorite of the main cast.
He had a couple good episodes, though. A lot of people love that steroids episode he did.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, Dragon, I just want to mention something really crazy about this episode.
Oh, what do you got?
It aired on December 11th, 1991, and Dragon, that was my first birthday. I was a wee 1-year-old the night this episode aired.
Crazy. You were the baby, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's destiny.
So, anyways, I just thought that was cool.
So Kevin Clash aside, let's continue on. So Earl here, Earl mentions that he has spent all the money, basically, I assume roughly like a month's worth of like basically income for the household and paying the bills and everything. I'm just going to assume. Point being, he spent all the money, all the available money on presents. Which again, this is the kind of thing I love about fathers in these sitcoms. Like F is for Family, for example, Frank Murphy as well. I love these characters who he treats his family. He's the big-hearted everyman deep down, especially with Earl. Earl absolutely wears it on his sleeve. And of course, Earl very much fitting into kind of the Fred Flintstone, Jackie Gleason kind of mold for kind of what we're doing here with Dinosaurs, which of course is great. And the long and short of Dinosaurs in many respects, I mean this in a complimentary way, is that it's kind of Jim Henson's version of the Flintstones.
Sure.
Anyway, so continue on. So so he spent all the money on presents, but he's not worried. Tiki, why isn't he worried?
Because he'll be getting a Fridge Day bonus.
Bonus.
Oh boy! And Dragon, this is where the episode veers directly into Simpsons roasting on an open fire territory.
Of course, I'm thinking of Christmas Vacation. My Jelly of the Month senses were tingling so much when he said Fridge Day bonus.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation is probably the better pool. You're right. But I'm saying as far as like the suburban family in a Christmas episode, it's definitely got some Simpsons tones to it.
Solid pool. I'm just going with the bonus of it all, but sure.
All right.
Oh, I should mention this too.
By the way, Dragon, we really should review Simpsons roasting on an open fire one day. I know you're not a Simpsons guy, but
I thought you already did.
Dragon, I probably did, but it's one of those that we can redo, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay,
it can just disappear from the channel and nobody would notice.
Okay. So, anyway, all right. So one thing I want to mention too, because with the fridge they have all. Another reason I do love the fridge pull, like why it's a refrigerator, is in the show. One of my favorite things, I love the fridge as a prop. Because when they open the fridge, what they would do, and I thought this was so cool. It's like a friendly version of Ghostbusters, of Zool from Ghostbusters, where like all the arms would come out and give you whatever you need, like out of the fridge, like milk and stuff. And like there's this one episode where like the baby goes to the fridge and he opens the fridge up and gives him everything he needs. It's like, oh my god, that's so. As a kid, I was so delighted by it. Oh my god, it's so cool. So and of course in here we see the little creatures in the fridge and like, oh my guys, love the whole fridge concept. This made it even better. That's anyway. So okay.
The fridge monsters are just like, I'll get you whatever you want as long as you don't eat me.
Exactly, which is just fantastic. And dark. And again, that's the thing. It's the other thing with the show. Again, well, bear in mind, sitcom, sitcom.
I can't wait to do a deep dive into this show and see how dark it gets, Dragon. I really can't.
Because in the grand scheme of things, you got to remember, while Jim Henson, of course, he didn't stick around for. He basically was there in the early conceptual phases, mainly in the technological thing, to which his son Brian Henson took over. But essentially, he came up with like, okay, let's do a sitcom, but with kind of the Fraggles, the Fraggles of it, which was Fraggles talked about real world issues, and of course, that's where you get kind of the genius parts of Dinosaur, the dark stuff, the whole like the social commentary. That's like Jim Henson's kind of imperative that then sitcom writers then took over the process with in developing the show and making that a reality. So Anyway.
And obviously, with what happened at the end of the series, they kind of stuck to landing at the very least.
That they did. Okay, so Fran speaks to the moral of the holiday, which is, again, it's not, it's not about money. It's about thanks. It's about thanks for what you have. And, of course, the greater family of it all. And, of course, it was like, oh, yeah, family, yeah, sure. Of course, also, they have to fast for 2 days to really enjoy the feast, I take it. And, of course, so again, they're fasting for 2 days. It means Earl can't have his breakfast or his lunch, and Earl's not happy about that. What is this little creature he's going to have for lunch say?
Hey, come on, guy. You could, 2 days without eating isn't going to kill you.
Slim,
right.
All right, okay. Oh, poor Earl again. Earl was probably my favorite. I mean, everyone loved the baby.
Can
I know.
Just say that voice who does the monster? I'm not sure exactly who he is, and I'm certainly not saying it is this guy by any means, but it's got kind of a Dave Goelz quality to the voice.
Dave Goelz actually puppeteered the face for Earl, so Dave Goelz was there.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Dave Goelz in that role, though, because it sounds very much like his Fraggle character, kind of like the nasally voice that Dave Goelz does for some of his characters.
Honestly, if I'm a betting man,
the nasally deep voice.
I think it's a 50-50 shot between Goelz or possibly Steve Whitmire, if I'm a betting man, but I don't know. Okay. All right, so let's see. So then, of course, we go to the runner of the whole series, the We Say So Development Corporation, where basically Earl works in construction, tearing down trees. Of course, not using machinery to tear down trees because they're all dinosaurs, just pushing down trees.
Right. That's great.
And of course, the biggest part of the political satire and the whole Jim Henson element of the show, obviously, the We Say So Development Corp. These guys, it's very much we're anti-big business in a very satirical way. With We Say So, therefore it must be.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so Earl.
Yes.
Earl salivates over his buddy Roy's lunch.
And Dragon, I think I like some of these side characters, like this guy and the boss, a little bit better than I like some of the family members.
I mean, they gotta admit that they have they have the excuse where they get to be really cool of their dinosaur designs too, because they don't have to all be kind of within the same range as the
No, you're right.
family.
You're absolutely right. I'm just like I said, maybe with a rewatch of the series, I'll definitely get to, because right now I gotta say that the brother, the sister, and then to a lesser extent Fran all kind of blend together for me a little bit.
And again, that might just because it's one episode and it's a holiday episode, to be fair. I mean, we've combated this with other shows too. We just do like the one.
Oh, we have, Dragon. We've written
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so let's see. So anyway, Earl's salivating over his buddy Roy's lunch, and obviously his buddy Roy here, very much kind of like Art Carney from The Honeymooners. Very much kind of like Ed Norton specifically.
Oh God, fucking Ed Norton! I forgot all about Ed Norton.
Very Ed Norton-esque. Very little Flint, again, the Flintstones influence coming up yet again. That's really the friend to the main character, the very Gleason-esque main character. Okay, so anyway, so point is Roy points out, he's like, why aren't you fasting? He says, I fast between meals, which is genius. So of course he wants some of his buddy's lunch. Of course, no.
He basically roars at Earl to get away from the lunch.
Yes. Of course, when you don't want to get on the wrong side of your best pal's wife, it can lead to injuries and
Smart man.
To the relationship. So then they're interrupted by their boss, Mr. Richfield, who is voiced by the incomparable Sherman Hensley, who does a great job. He's very J. Jonah Jameson-esque here, and I love it.
Yes, this guy, I think, is my favorite design in the show, Dragon.
And, of course, he never gets up from his desk. From what I can remember, he never gets up from the desk. Great. Because he looks awesome, and you don't want to... Again, this is the one Whitmire puppeteers, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he looks so cool. He's a Triceratops with attitude.
All right, so yeah, he wants to see Earl in his office, and... Earl, he's not panicked at all. He's like, no, in this time of year, it's my refrigerator day bonus. It's a time of joyful celebration.
It's bonus time, and then of course
time.
Then we get probably the most fun scene of the entire thing.
This is absolutely the highlight of the episode, Dragon.
Because I was taking
this
it
is the
face
equivalent
value
to that one scene in Kidding.
Yes, yes. I initially I was I took it at face value because I thought it was actually happening until anyway. So Earl is welcomed by the boss by name,
I
not
could tell
Sinclair.
from the lighting, Greg, and the lighting cued it off for me.
I mean, that was like there was like a little there's a doubt, and then of course there's a certain point. Okay, at this basically by okay, someone's not okay. This is way too something's off here. Okay. Anyway, so Earl is welcomed by the boss, again awesomely designed Triceratops. Calls him Earl by name, not Sinclair. Call me Earl,
Call
not
me
Sinclair.
Earl.
Of course, he's got a random fireplace in the office, like the family
Yeah,
red
that's
Christmas
great.
special. He's got a random fireplace to keep. Well, yes, is to keep all the employees warm and to make sure they feel cared for.
Oh God. No, just to make sure they could get warm and feel loved.
Yep, and then he offers him toddy, hot
A
toddy.
hot toddy.
I just love saying the word toddy. Say it with me. Toddy, 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 toddy.
It's almost as fun as saying hug bees.
Almost. Ugbies!
All right.
Anyway. Let's see. Anyways, after the whole toddy runner, it's oh god. We have he's asking about handing out the refrigerator day bonuses. He's basically he puts out like three checks like your 3 refrigerator day bonuses. Guess which one is yours? They're all yours.
Oh
I'm giving them
God.
all to you because, well, I love you.
Well,
And
I love ya.
And you, sir.
Oh God.
And again, this piece. Oh, again, of course, like, come on, come in for a big fridge day hug. Now, this is where I'm sorry. Okay, something's off here. Okay, basically, when he pulls out the 3 checks he's given, for a moment, I thought, here's the last serious notion I entertained. Like, oh God, it's going to be Earl's getting them, but the other employees aren't. That's where I thought it was going. Like, nope, he's just giving them. And okay, that's a little off. And then this whole fridge day hug is like, okay, this.
So it'd basically be the plot to the Flintstones movie where like Barney is making
Yeah.
everyone else jealous, which was such a weird angle to go in with the plot of the Flintstones movie.
Well, Fred was making everyone jealous, but yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, Fred was making everyone jealous. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. It's been a while. I knew someone was making someone else jealous.
Yeah, to tell you, say what you will about that Flintstones movie. That's a guilty pleasure I can get behind. I really.
I wouldn't mind exploring the Flintstones duology at one point, sir. That would be a fun little side road.
I do enjoy the original one. I really do. Anyway,
I enjoy Rock Vegas.
I know, which is bizarre to me, but again, it's like it's kind of opposites, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so all right. So the point being, so it's like come here for a big, come bring it in for a big fridge day hug, and of course now you'll notice they cut away from this because it's impossible for these two characters to hug each other because one's behind a desk and his arms are probably too short. Anyway, so the point being, we cut away, he's like going in for the hug, and then we dissolve. Like it was all a daydream. What happens?
I just had the most beautiful dream. And then we cut right back to the boss in real life. Sinclair, get in here. Oh, coming.
So now Earl has an expectation, which is hilarious, to go into the scene armed with, which then
right. Oh, it's a little cold in here. Perhaps more coal for the fire. You see a fire in here, you bag of puss.
Oh God! It's you lumbering bag of pus. So he gives him pencils in lieu of the checks.
Here. At first, I thought that the pencils were going to be the bonus.
I know, me too. And it's sad. It's just genius. I said pencils is just like not for me to have. Well, I guess I could use these pencils, especially when it comes to signing bonus. Well, I think he's alluding to signing bonuses. Like, no, not to have. He won't even let him keep the pencils. Not to have. To sharpen. Somewhere I don't have to look at you.
Dragon, I just want to. I'm sorry. I'm just like looking at these that still frames of this guy. The eyes are so angry. Like the horns just give him such expression. When he opens his mouth, you can just see like the inside of his mouth and his tongue and everything. And oh man, it's just such an impressive puppet, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's almost like the like the tailspin version of Sarah's dad from Land Before Time.
oh God, I'm so glad you brought that guy up.
Anyway, so let's see. Anyway, so
Greenhorns never play with long necks.
Sinclair, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so mentions so yeah, I'll look at you anyway. So then he basically stumbles over the bonus check conversation. I know it's because there's no way to work it in there, but since you brought up bonus checks, but you really didn't. Anyway, so he's speaking of bonus checks, which we weren't. When can I expect them? Then, of course, then the boss, and then we have a great Sherman Hensley laugh. What is so? Say it with me,
my captain.
Yeah, bonuses. Of course, like you say it with me. Bonus. Trying to do the hot toddy thing, which is. But then he comes down like Brian. So then he comes down like Brian Doyle Murray here, man. He comes down saying, "There are no bonuses this year."
Well, yes, there is. I need that money. I'm counting on it.
I love the back and forth. That was one of the most hilarious things in the whole thing. Like the whole, there are no bonuses. Yes, there are. No, there isn't. Yes, there is. Because I'm counting on this. Oh, guys, it's so funny.
Exactly, and that's why you're not getting it.
If you're expecting a bonus, it's not a bonus. It's just pay. Here's the thing. I think this is so genius. There is a logic to that. It's not great. It's not kind, but there is a logic to that. Anyways, I'm not expecting it now. Good. Then you won't be disappointed when you don't get one. And of course, I think it's really genuine here. What happens as Earl's leaving?
Don't tell any of those other deadbeats there's no bonus.
It's my own little holiday treat. Yeah, it's my little way of celebrating the holiday, basically crushing their spirits. All
right, Dragon, I think it's time for a little commercial break.
Yes.
Why don't you take us through this?
So we have a little holiday ad playing here, which essentially is about giving the Refrigerator Day gift of paint and Refrigerator Day carols. We have like this we wish you a what is it? Yes, it's we wish you a happy fridge day.
We wish you a happy fridge day.
We wish you a happy fridge day.
So come and buy paint.
Oh my God, it's again, the consumerism is rampant in this world of dinosaurs, and in the idea like a hardware store or someplace like, so come and buy paint. Of course, the idea like this is like the Norelco shaver ad or the M&M's ad for the dinosaur world. It's like it's the most popular holiday ad.
Right.
Oh God. Anyway, so point being, we kind of have the kid's voice. It's a confusing moral issue. Kind of cheapens the holiday. Yeah, I don't have time for big confusing moral issues. As at least they're going back to decorating the thing. And of course, then we have like a continuing ad by the We Say So, like this ad sponsored by the We Say So Corporation. And of course, we then have like a runner of all these really nice environmental shots as they kind of voice the main point of the We Say So thing, where community shouldn't have a say in your family life, so they shouldn't have a say in what we do with our regulations. We say so. Do what's right if you could leave us alone.
Oh, God. All right, so Earl comes in, Dragon. He's not happy. He's crestfallen, and we've seen this kind of routine before from Homer Simpson, but not from a fully fledged, like half animatronic dinosaur puppet, though.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
I'm just so impressed by the. Half this podcast is just going to be me gawking at the puppetry, Dragon. I swear to God.
I learned something about the show, Tiki, that just I thought it was great. It's like something right under your nose that I never noticed as a kid.
Yeah.
The way Earl sits down, like he does like the big, like, because he's a big guy. He does like a little, almost like a little dance when he sits down. Like he's like basically like putting his hands on his knees and everything. What he's doing is he's trying to find the chair. It's Bill Beretta trying to find the chair.
Oh, God. That's great.
But again, it works so well. It's like him with a lumbering weight, just trying to kind of like sitting down.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so come on. The kids are hanging cards all around the place. Earl calls the family for some bad news. I have bad news for all to share. So then, of course, the baby's been drawing the refrigerator. I drew the refrigerator. That's nice, son. This is like, I drew on it. That's not as great. And on the wall and on the floor, would you stop it? I have some bad news this year. Okay. Russo's like, wah, stop it. Okay. And he breaks the news to him. He's not getting the bonus, and because of that, because he already bought the presents, they're broke.
The daughter instantly goes to like, but wait, you have the presents, right? Yeah. So what's the problem?
It's just great. Because then, of course, friends we have bills. We have bills to pay, and Earl is trying to remain optimistic here to embrace the holiday in the spirit of generosity. And again, really great character trait. Earl's trying to he doesn't want to take the holiday away from his family. He's optimistic. Yeah, we'll get through it. It's fine. And basically, then we hit like the great cynical button of the whole thing. The best part here, where it's like he's optimistic that basically all the basically their debtors will they don't mind getting paid late in the spirit of the season.
And then smash cut to the fridge being taken away.
First thing that gets repossessed, the fridge. And here's what's genius. I don't know if you caught this. Why is it being repossessed? Do you remember?
Because it's a day late.
No. It's a half day late. And again, on time, we could have overlooked it. Which, of course, if it was on time, there wouldn't be an issue. On time, we could overlook this, but, half a day late.
Nothing I can do.
Okay, so the kids are begging, including the baby, like on the guy's shoe. Anyway, so then we have the explanation about the bonus. They're trying to appeal to the guy, the repo man's heartstrings here, which again, folks, take it from experience. Never works out.
Right.
Anyway, so he explains about the bonus and basically, can you please just take another appliance? I love the desperate. Just take another appliance, anyone but the fridge. Just on this day, which again, I have a heart for the guy. Okay, I'll take a different appliance, but no, the boss likes to take what puts you under the most pressure.
That's so fucked up, man. And again, I hate to be a running record here, but it just speaks to the cynicism involved with this show, just as a whole.
Oh yeah, like the We Say So Corporation, again, wonderfully, our guy, our lead character, works for these guys, but again, they're the bad guys. I love the dichotomy there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Earl cosmically has a lot of this brought on himself because he's part of the status quo in that regard. Anyway, so the boss, he must, what a brilliant and evil dinosaur he is. Yeah. But he gave a huge bonus. That drives the knife in even deeper right there. So of course,
Earl just kind of goes on like a very, very relatable, sort of self-deprecating tangent. He's just like, I'm dirt. And the son's like, you're not dirt, Dad.
You're right.
He's just like, you're right. I'm not dirt. I look up to dirt. I wish I was dirt.
I'm beneath dirt. Because he failed his family in the
dirt
holiday.
Laughs at me.
That's the really funny one. Like dirt laughs at me.
Oh god! And so he basically is just convinced that he's failed his family.
And this is going to be the worst refrigerator day ever. And there was fuzz on the mold pie. I mean, without that, now they know it's going to be the worst refrigerator. It was not a good omen at all. It was a bad omen, man. The fuzz was a bad omen.
Okay, so next day, Earl wakes up and great. He's just like, by reflex, just going for the fridge, opening it up, and then he realizes there's nothing there.
Which just in itself is just a great gag. And then, of course, then the family's off to the side, kind of commenting, Dad looks depressed. Oh, he'll work it out, dear. And, of course, we have Earl this is a wonderful sad comedy here. Just Earl, we wish you a happy Fridge Day. We wish you a happy Fridge Day, so come in, buy paint. Oh, God. It's just so funny. I wonder what the fridge is doing now.
Oh God, it's just like it's so pathetic that it just winds back around to being funny.
So if this episode couldn't get even better, then we kind of enter like the great heady niche of the show, where again it's like the Flintstones, but we got to see the discovery of new things a little bit more. Now we did get that in the Flintstones from time to time, but it's like as a big plot point, where Robbie suggests, well, let's get the fridge back. And then Fran refines the idea of like, yeah, let's return the gifts. so we can buy back the fridge. Of course, this is way before money back was a thing, and of course we're in the prehistoric era. It's the not so modern prehistoric era, but it's on the cusp of being the modern modern Stone Age. Anyway.
All right, so the daughter goes on a little bit of a tangent, and I'm just kind of like, you're being a little selfish right now. It's like two things that go together, and when they're not together, it just doesn't seem worth it.
I read it more as like she inherited her father's intelligence, where if you look at the two, it looks like Robbie kind of is more of his mother's son than like she's a little more of her father's daughter. It's kind of what it read as to me, but yeah.
All right.
I read more as ignorance, but anyway. So of course, then as she's going off this, like, and of course, like, who says you, like, who says you don't have a brain, or who says you don't have anything to contribute, something like that. All right, so of course they looked at that. Oh God, what is Earl doing now? This is great.
Oh my God! On the second day, I can't even get through it.
On the second day,
my true love gave to me 2 ice trays and a plastic insert to hold the eggs in.
And he just drops them. They're full of water because they can't keep it cold. Oh God! We're gonna starve. It's like, no, like the fridge is gone. We're all starving. No, Earl, we're fasting. No. I love this.
No. I like this distinction, and I kind of agree with it. Like,
and he's right.
Fasting is when there's food right in front of you, but you don't eat it. There is no food. Henceforth, we're starving.
Yep, so now this gets the kids on board. Okay, I'll get the presents. So now we're at Cave Mart.
Cave Mart, great pun.
So basically, last minute holiday rush, that sort of thing. And then they're approached by, oh man, I love this salesman character. It reminds me a little. He reminds me a little bit of like Tim Conway, little Roger, almost Roger Bumpus sounding. Anyway, point being, Tom Sharp does know. Tom Sharp is the actor who does the voice here, and he played one of Tim Taylor's brothers in Home Improvement. Good actor, good guy. Anyway, so I just love the character he kind of plays here. It's kind of like the soft-spoken like salesman who just doesn't get it. He's a real casual kind of guy, casual cadence in the voice. Anyway, so point being, the salesman approaches him, and basically we have this routine of selling. So you want to sell the store, basically trying to sell the store on the idea of returns.
Mm-hmm. And he's not quite getting the picture. He's like, that makes no sense whatsoever.
Just love he just says it so nice and blasé. That makes no sense whatsoever.
But we have a ton of that junk. Why would we want to buy more from you?
Which I just love the logic within. Yeah, if this was like, it just gives you like a great sense of history. At some point in time, this conversation had to have gone down.
Right.
You know? It's like, I'm just, we just give them back. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure the store would appreciate it. No, we want to buy them back. Essentially, we want to sell them to you. Essentially, it's like we want our money back. It's like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, we have to. You've lost me. Like he goes there. Hey, Hank. Calls over.
And this is where it kind of enters the JGI territory here, Dragon. Right. I don't want to go into details, but you know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely know what you're talking about. Says, hey, Hank, see if you can... I love the casual nature. Like, hey, Hank, see if you can follow this. Hey, Hank, see if you can follow this. These people want to sell want us to essentially want to return these things and give them their money back. So, is there a profit? I was like, are you trying to make a profit? Of course not. Well, if you're going to sell something, you want to make a profit. It's just common sense. No, we're not selling it. So what? You change your... I love the conspiracy. So you change your tune? This is all a clever ruse to embarrass me in front of Hank?
Yeah.
Because Tiki, you don't want to embarrass anyone in front of Hank. It's worse than embarrassing somebody...
Why would you embarrass anyone in front of Hank, Dragon?
Embarrass me in front of Hank.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Anyway.
Oh, this is such a silly episode, and I love it.
So, let's see. So, anyways, and of course, we're selling them to you at the same price. Oh, yes, we are selling them to you, but at the same price. She's trying to get smart here. Anyway. So then Hank explains, ma'am, we are a store. You are the customer. if we buy things from you, then you would be the store. Do you want to be a store? And of course, like it's a lot of responsibility.
It's just like, I want to be a store.
Well, he asked. God bless Sally Struthers, man. She comes into the comedy line really well. All right. The only way this makes sense to me is if we pay less for these items. And of course, like, all right, we need because they need the money. And of course, Robbie's speaking like, well, that's it's less than wholesale, Mom. That's a terrible deal. What kind of fridge are we gonna be able to buy with that? So what do they end up buying?
Basically, like an ice cooler.
Which essentially, to give you the equivalency, folks, it's like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree of the fridges for Fridge Day.
And then Earl comes up with, yeah, you're right about that, Dragon. That's a good comparison. And then Dragon Earl comes out with, oh my god, the goddamn darkest line of the episode by a country mile.
So he thinks the presents were stolen.
No, let me do it.
Go on. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Hey everyone, I went to get your presents to salvage the holiday, but it seems like they've been stolen, so I'm going to go to the garage to hang myself. Do.
Yep. So then Earl gets taken on a roller coaster ride of like holiday hope that just does not go very well. Where it's like, no, Earl, it basically had like an almost gift of the Magi moment here. It's like, no, Earl, we sold the presents for a fridge. He says, oh, you did? He says, where is it? And of course, but it was a cooler.
What an emotional roller coaster.
So the baby's like, move, I'm trying to draw the new fridge. So then I love this, and this is gold. This is why this episode's a great one here. So Earl goes to apologize to the baby. He says, I'm sorry I ruined your first refrigerator day. He says, go ahead. Of course, the running gag of the whole series. It's been a while, T. I don't know if you remember this. The running gag of the whole.
Oh yeah, I very much remember it. Yeah,
he hits him on the head. For the folks at home, he hits him on the head, and he says either not the mama or just I'm the baby, gotta love me. And point being, he always hits him on the head. Not the mama. Anyway, so of course he's like, "Go on, son, hit me on the." He gives him the pot, like, hit me on the head. Says, that's getting old. Like I love that's Earl's low point when his son won't even him.
Oh, look how low I've sunk. My old child refuses to hit me.
And I'm sure you love this gag.
Yeah, the Ethel just like, Earl, huh? Whacks him with the cane.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always be there for you, fat boy.
Which is it's cynical, but it's delightful at the same time. Like that's the sentiment there. It's like, oh, she's gonna be there for him to put him down, like any mother-in-law would.
Dragon, I just realized. I'm sure it's not the same voice, but you know what the voice reminds me of?
What?
Chocolate. I remember chocolate.
I know it's not that voice, but still.
I know it's not that voice, but it's kind of the same cadence. I remember chocolate.
I just love how cool it is. That's Miss Packard from Last Lost Empire. That's cool. Anyway, so let's see. So anyway, so then Fran points out yet again the holiday is not about. Again, she has a valid point here. Fran points out again the holiday is about the ancestors and them not having refrigerators, which obviously is the whole point of the thing. So to appreciate, basically it's about appreciating the family and the holiday and the hopes for the future, which again is dark given where the series goes with the future, which is it's kind of when you really think about it, we're blessed. And of course, I think Earl makes another joke about going to the garage. If I were you, I'd go to the garage to hang myself, which is even darker.
All right, but they want to get in the Fridge Day pageant because it's a big tradition.
That's all they have.
And yeah, exactly.
At the risk of sounding childish, I don't want to.
I don't wanna.
We do it every year, and we're doing it with or without you. So then the pageant happens. So Ethel essentially being, again, kind of the oldest one, being kind of the Great Depression era relative. She has the duty of reading, essentially the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" of it all. She's reading the true story of Refrigerator Day. So basically, the family are dressed like pilgrims, which in itself is kind of funny. So anyways, they're dressed like pilgrims. Like long ago, life was miserable. and it was important to find food.
There is no more food in this place. It's time to move on, to explore new lands, to seek out new meats and vegetables.
So they're going to search for food, and I like the baby has a little role here where he pulls like a little prop fire. So essentially, Fran she talks Earl into playing his part. Earl, and there's a beautiful line. She says, "It's really sweet. It's sweet, but it's also a threat. Earl, without you, we're not a family." Which again is kind of
Earl
nice.
comes up on stage, dons the pilgrim hat.
The only way to
If only there was a way to store food in this constant searching. I'm sorry. If only there was a way to store food in a cold climate, then this constant searching would be over.
yeah. So then of course Ethel goes on about that. Then the father heard a voice without a face. To build a box cold inside. Essentially, it's a Field of Dreams moment, kids.
Hark, I hear a voice. Yet with my eyes I see not its source.
And Earl is getting back into the spirit as the pageant goes on.
Yes,
really nice.
yeah.
So they built a small fridge. I'm going to guess it's a prop. Otherwise, again, would have been a much finer answer than the cooler they bought. So I'm going to guess it's a non-functioning little fridge. The point being, they build like the prop fridge. And the problem is, it ain't cold. And again, this is a really great logic thing here. We're we're going to toss in a lake, the cold lake, to make it cold. Which again, if you go back to the olden days, kind of makes sense. And of course, then they have like the illogical logic here. Wait a minute, what is this? It's a pronged device on the back. It's a plug, which is like, wait a minute, there's something's not tracking with it. I think there's some funny business going with the true story of Refrigerator Day, but I won't question the logic. The point being, even in the inception of Holiday, there's a plug.
Ooh,
so then migrating finished forever. It was a happy ending. And then, of course, the baby shows up like Tiny Tim. God bless us, everyone. Then basically hits his father. But then he falls. Like sometimes they just have the baby fall. And I don't know why. It's always funny. Sometimes a little jerk has it coming. All right. So then it's kind of like the happy Refrigerator Day, and they all come in for like they all sing like before the God blesses everyone. It's like come all ye dinosaurs. It's kind of variation like come all ye faithful. So happy Refrigerator Day, Earl, and it's a heartwarming. Then we have the heartwarming ending here, man. I love this. Earl loves the pageant. You're right, honey. We may not have a fridge, but I'm the luckiest guy in town. This is like a miracle.
And Dragon, if the episode would have ended here, it would have been just genuinely super heartwarming.
Yeah, and this is where we get into like the Garfield.
Instead, we get a ring at the door, and I love it. I love this twist, Dragon. This twist just makes it all worth it.
I love all this. I was so happy. Like, I mean, it was right. It's perfect sentiment. That just keeps getting better. This is like kind of our experience with the Garfield Christmas in July thing we did. The whole like the heat wave holiday or holiday heat wave. That already goes. Anyways, of course, like when we just plus it even more. So okay, so then a miracle shows up at the door where it is Richard from earlier, the salesman, along with Hank and tow. Returning the fridge. It's like, is this what I see? I'm not complaining with what I'm seeing right now. So do you see a trim guy bringing your fridge back in? Like, yes, and we're in sync. So basically, he's returning the fridge, bringing up back all the presents, ice cream for the kids, and pulled a few strings.
I love the detail of ice cream for the fridge because why ice cream for the kids? Because why not?
Yeah, it's a nice gesture. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love pleasantries within these holidays, but I thought it was of course. It's just such a wonderful string of pleasantries in a row. It's like, oh my god, it's more pleasantries than a Hallmark special here. Look at this.
The Christmas bonuses, the snow machine, Dragon.
Yes, and a snow machine on the roof. They went out the way.
It's snowing.
Oh god, and of course they're doing all this because, as Richard says, they love Fran's. The big boss loved Fran's returns idea so much. Where basically they get money and of course get to screw over the customer a little bit. They love the idea and they want to kind of use it in all the stores. Basically, would help them. Basically, be the beginnings of making them a monopoly. a monopoly to help better serve you all, which is just great. Because the whole monopoly thing, of course, where we are now in culture and everything, it's a really forward thinking gag. And of course, looking where dinosaurs ended up too, again, monopoly would be kind of funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
So of course, this is our thanks, and also we want you. And of course, here's the real reason they're there. Tiki, what's the real reason they're there for?
Because basically she has to sign over all the rights to the idea for the return policy.
So again, the grand scheme of things, like she'd be entitled to a whole lot more if they held out. But of course, just they're going for like the perfect frigid day, which is just Jesus. Earl's not questioning it all, just signs it without question. Oh yeah, sure.
And Dragon, that right there just makes the whole thing just so fucking unbelievably cynical. Just that one little stroke right there.
But here's what's so great too is
it's
but
like
the whimsy.
he gets his perfect fridge day, but at what cost?
And again, I love the balance here. It's just this balance you don't see every day, Tiki. Again, it's cynical, but at the same time whimsy before the cynicism. Right.
Sure.
Of course, then basically he's kind of brag, like Earl said, we just had the best pageant, we've ever had, like the best thing ever. Of course, the mall has like the department store has a pageant too with lasers and lasers and stuff, and also 35% off ladies' sportswear. Ooh, yeah. Anyway. So then, of course, now they let's see. So now they like of course, they say, "Oh man, you guys are really making." Basically, there's like a compliment to consumerism within the ending here, which is kind of nice. All right. So then the kids they light the fridge. Time to light the fridge, and then we have kind of this there's a really classy move too. Not all shows can get away with this, but this show, I give them this. We have the Christmas card ending. Where it's like from all the people, the cast and crew from Dinosaurs. We wish you and yours the happiest refrigerator day. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, Dragon, I'm just going to dig right into final thoughts. I honestly love this thing. It held up so much more than I was expecting it to. Not only in the puppetry, certainly. This thing, it looks amazing, especially for the time. But also just, I don't know about the characters. Like I said, I haven't seen enough of this show to really discuss one way or another how I really feel about the characters. But that tone, man, this thing hits a fucking solid tone. And you know me, Dragon, when you mix tones and you don't do it well, I don't like it. Click is the perfect example. A lot of people love Click. I think it's way too extreme at the end. But this is just a great, it's a tightrope act, man. It's just like, it's at all times just like super heartwarming and then also just like gloriously cynical and corporate. And I love the balance. It's like such a great yin yang. So overall, Dragon, I think this is going to be the highlight of this year. I really do.
Yeah, final thoughts for me. I thought this is a very charming and well-made show and episode as well. Here again, as I've said before, kind of Jim Henson's stab at kind of like kind of Flintstones with the Fraggle edge of social commentary, and I think that absolutely bleeds into the holiday episode that we had before. So it kind of stays true to the core of the show. It very much, again, this was a blast from the past, but also again, it's as sharp as ever going back to it. I'm so impressed by that. Such a fun idea of Refrigerator Day as the fill-in for Christmas, and again the sly commentary on consumerism and the holiday, the holiday gags of it all. There's genius. Again, it has like the classic Christmas moral within kind of it's so fun to see. Again, the show. The core idea isn't reinventing the wheel. Like, we've seen this. I think it's what we live for in Christmas in July. We've seen the old holiday more. Like, you don't need stuff. You have your family, which, again, is there. But, again, I haven't seen it so freshly executed in a manner such as this, which made it such a treat. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this thing was delightful. It was absolutely unique and a lot of fun.
All right, so, Dragon, let's count up the tropes here, my friend.
So
we have an original holiday as a stand-in for Christmas, of course.
Yes. We have lights and decorations.
Sure.
We got carols.
Christmas tree.
Yeah, man.
Christmas commercials.
Yep, we have the old kind of Christmas Vacation bonus gag.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a commentary on Christmas commercialism.
Absolutely. Again, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree fill-in with the cooler.
Presents.
Yes. Last-minute Christmas shoppers.
Indeed, indeed.
Let's see. The holiday miracle
Snow.
at the end.
Snow.
And snow machines.
Mm-hmm. Is that about it? I think we pretty
Let's
much
see.
frankly commented on it.
Tiny Tim. Well, we got Tiny
Oh
Tim.
yes,
We
oh
have,
yes,
I already
of
said the
course. Yeah.
personalized Christmas carols. Father in a holiday depression.
Very much so. Yeah.
I think that's, and again, the Christmas card ending. It sometimes shows in with, like a little,
Oh
little
yeah.
cast and crew. There you go. I think that, yeah, that covers
Okay.
it. So it's a good, okay. Tiki, this is just such a blast, man. It really is, going through these and recounting all the tropes and all this stuff. Again, it's so great to get into the Christmas season when it's not cold out. It's so delightful. But you know what, Tiki? We have such a good time. 7 years worth, in fact. And I just wish after all this time we came up with just a little. If we just came up with a catchy saying, a catchy slogan. Maybe not as good as "Come in by paint." Maybe not something as catchy as that, but a slogan that we could physicalize. We like kind of put in there. Something that we can pull back from another nostalgic thing from way back when, the '90s specifically. Like something like maybe the late '90s period. Something maybe a little splash of Tim Burton influence with kind of like a saying. I don't know, something like a scientific process in which we could find the meaning behind the Christmas. Like, look at the Christmas underneath a piece of technology, one could say, and just kind of divulge all the meanings and all like the little tropes that we just did now. But I'm beside myself, man. I've lost the spirit. I'm gonna go to the garage and hang myself, man. I got nothing.
Well, hold on, Dragon, before you commit
I'm getting
suicide.
hurry up, man. I'm tightening the belt. Hurry up.
Oh God. Let's see, Dragon. How about putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
What am I doing with this belt around my neck? I'm gonna get rid of this thing.
Right, that got dark. Wow.
Tiki, by Jove, you've got me out of my holiday funk. That's genius. I love it. I'm back in the spirit. Let's do more. Let's go with that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So, Dragon, does this mean that I saved your life and I get to lord that over you?
Maybe not. It wasn't the best belt.
All right. Okay, folks. So, yeah, indeed. Putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope. Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
la.
Come
So comment by paint.
Not the mama.